Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're talking about my Zoon bike, and I wanted to talk about the battery. I know in a previous video I had mentioned that I was not getting the mileage that they had promised, the longevity mileage they had promised in their advertisement, that they had promised up to 90 miles on Pedal Assist 1, and I wasn't even getting close to that. So I had reached out to the manufacturer and said, look, I've got two things going on with the bike. It's not giving me that distance. I mean, at Pedal Assist 5, it was just chewing through the battery. At Pedal Assist 4, it was just chewing through the battery. So what I would do is I would run the bike on Pedal Assist 1 and 2, and I was only getting maybe 30 miles out of the thing before the battery was dead. And I was also not seeing it getting up to those speeds that they promised. They had got back to me and said, look, we think you just got a bad battery. It might not be sending the power it needs because those two factors that you're complaining about, Mr. Tarkus, is definitely something that concerns us. So let us send you a new battery. See if that fixes it. Oh my goodness, what a difference a battery makes. The battery that they sent, I got it. I charged it. It's in the bike now. This is the new battery. I took the old battery and just charged it up and stuck it here. So the old battery sits nicely in this compartment that they give you with the bike. So doesn't my old Smart Travel bag. So the bag fits in here just fine. Old battery sits here. So this is like a backup battery. And they sent me this battery for free as trying to, say, look, we want to make you happy. We think it's the battery that's giving you these, these negative thoughts about our bike. So here's a new battery. My goodness, the bike the bike performed very well before, as for what I was saying is the tires perform, the whole e-bike side of the bike performed very well. It just didn't perform for a long period of time. Now, I went out and did about 40 miles and I barely moved the battery meter today. And it was like, okay, this is what it was supposed to be. And the speed is there now. Now it gets up to 28 miles an hour with no issues at all. I blow past 28 and I got to slow her down because again, my state's laws is no more than 28 miles an hour on an e-bike. So the bike will do what they say that it will do on the description page. I'll put that link below so that you can just look at the bike yourself. Click the link and then read what they have to say about this bike. I think it's under $600 now. And even though I've had some critical comments about the braking and the padding in the seat, that pales in compared to how this bike now performs. For what you will pay for this bike and what you're getting from that money is all here. Especially if your bike comes with a good battery at the beginning. In this case, I obviously didn't have a good battery. I was not getting what I wanted out of the bike. They stepped up. They said, here you go. We're sending you a new battery. Let us know how it goes. And I'll tell you what, it's like night and day on this performance. It's fast, it's sleek. I'm not fearing that the battery meter is just falling rapidly. On the old battery, I'd be at Pedal Assist 5. And within 13 miles, the battery was dead on Pedal Assist 5. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And I did test this on the new one battery on Pedal Assist 5. And I zipped around the neighborhood for about 15, 20 minutes, easily put 15 miles on it, and it hadn't even moved the battery meter. It was like, okay, that had to be the problem. The battery was just a crappy battery out of the gate. So yeah, it's still having braking issues where, you just got to get a little time to stop because there's a lot of things going on. You got some weight with the bike. You got some weight with you being on it. The thing's getting up to 28 miles an hour. So it doesn't stop on a dime. And I said that was part of my critical analysis of the bike, that the brakes could have been done a little better. But overall, if the damn thing didn't stop at all, the bike is still worth what they're selling here. especially now that I've got the battery that's working the bike. I mean, obviously you got to stop, and obviously you need brakes for these things, but you can work that out. I mean, I found that I just give myself enough time to brake. And what I mean by that is, you know, if the bike was going 28 miles an hour and you hit the brakes, you'll probably end up going another 12 to 13 feet before the bike stops. Now, my Smart Travel bike, it was almost instantaneous. It almost would throw you over the handle. So maybe you could look at it as a safety feature that the bike doesn't come to an immediate stop, and then you won't get thrown over the handlebar for that feature. I mean, maybe that's what they were thinking, is let's make this bike come to a sliding stop. I don't know. I mean, that was one of the things that I said that was critical about the bike, but now thinking about it, I'm like, I can work with the braking, I can work with the padding. Now that this bike is performing the way it's supposed to, all day long, it's worth what they're asking for it. All day long. The link is below if you want to check it out. All right, well, thank you for joining me, and this has been the Tarkus Zone.